Wow, well, look at that.
We have people already.
We do.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I know we had people waiting.
Yeah, well,
So.
we decided to come on a little bit early just to make sure everything was working. And hi, everybody. I'm Shiny Happy Jen, and this is my friend Emily here.
Hello.
Emily is, she's very kindly volunteered to come over to my place tonight to help me capture history. Yet again, we are going to be enjoying a performance by Miss BB Bubbles, who is below us, or behind us here, I should say. And Emily had brought her studio equipment. She's got the camera, so we can actually have a decent feed instead of my, potato camera webcast feed that we normally have here. Mm-hmm. So we've got some high quality. What is this? Is this like HD?
It's not HD, but
This is HD for me.
It's studio quality.
It's studio. It's Studio B, right?
It's Studio B.
It's Studio B with BB Bubbles.
I guess Studio PTT. Should we call it PTT or?
Oh, it could be that. Yeah, it can be Studio PTT.
Studio PTT.
Studio PTT.
Or Cabaret.
I kind of like Studio B.
Studio B kind of works. Yeah, Studio B is kind of good.
But anyway, so we just wanted to come on, make sure everything's working.
Yeah.
And you guys are in for a treat tonight. You really are, because not only are you going to get to see this elephant perform her 3 known skits, but you're actually going to get to see her move, and she's going to move non-electronically. Okay. Which I will get into when, 5 o'clock officially rolls around, because I know we still have some folks that are going to be joining us. So, I don't know, what can we talk about while we're waiting for the official time to start here?
I mean, maybe while we're waiting, if you guys have, any questions or anything like that you guys want us to answer during the stream, definitely.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, definitely let us know in the comments if you guys have any questions, and we can answer them for you.
Just not during the show.
Not during the show, yeah.
Neither of us are going to be able to view any comments during the entire program. My regular viewers already understand that, because
we have a fair amount of viewers right now, actually.
I'm not used to, when I do my webcasts, I'm not able to even see the comments most of the time. Mm-hmm. So it's nothing against you guys. I love your comments. I love hearing your comments and reading your comments. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you have about BB Bubbles or anything that we'll be talking about tonight. Mm-hmm. I just can't do it during the webcast, because trust me, I'm going to have my hands full. Right?
Well, actually, this is the
I'm not the only one that's going to have my hands full.
This is the reason why we have it like this tonight, because we actually can see the comments tonight. So
well, I don't know about you, but I can't read that tiny little.
Well, I can see it from here.
Okay. So Emily's gonna read some things right now.
Yeah, I can see it from here. So, like I said, if you guys have any questions or anything while we're waiting for the stream to actually
start, sure, that makes sense.
If you guys have any questions, feel free to let us know in the comments, and we'll answer them. Some of them are going to be answered actually during the stream. So, depending on what your question is, we'll kind of answer it. Hold on. What was that one that just popped up? Oh, so somebody asked, where did you find BB Bubbles?
BB Bubbles. She was salvaged from the Danvers, Mass. Chuck E. Cheese's back in 1985, I believe. They were going to do the first of many remodels. And a friend of mine worked at the Danvers Chuck E. Cheese's at the time, and he took the pieces that they had, which was just the head and her arms/hooves. Those are the only pieces that he was able to salvage. So he took these pieces because he was thinking of making a costume character out of these pieces, circus elephant. And so he had them for a year or two, and then he met me and saw what a insane Pizza Time Theater enthusiast I am, and gave me these pieces. The pieces I had, again, were just the head and the arms. She didn't have any clothing. She didn't have any of the fancy jewels. She didn't have her hair. She didn't have any sequins. None of that. She did have her original earrings, however. Those remained intact. And we're going to talk more about this during the program tonight. We'll get in close so you guys can take a good look. But that is where she came from. She originally performed at the Danvers, Mass. Chuck E. Cheese's when the store opened in April of 1983. But she was retired around 1985 when they did one of their first major remodels. She was put into storage, and like I said, got into my friend's hands who used to work there at the time. And then he eventually gave her to me, and I did my first of 3 restorations on her. One was I made an early recreation of her dress. I also made a recreation of her crown. And those were based on photographs that I had taken at the store back in 1984, 1985. So I tried to piece it together, and then I would say about 10 or 9 years ago, I actually got some real solid documentation of this character from the people who created her. Jewel Kamen and Kathy Magnum, our friends at the Pizza Time Theater wardrobe department from all those years ago. They had photo archives, they had original concept drawings, so I could finally see after all these years what her dress looked like, accurately, color accurate, fabric accurate. So then I did the last of the 3 restorations, and this is how she looks now after her 3rd restoration. And I also brought her up to performance grade and turned her into a kind of hand-operated puppet. And you will see when we do the first skit that her movements are pretty much exact to a animatronic cyberamic character. But everything you'll see is controlled by hands. And not just my hands tonight. Emily here is my lovely assistant. She is going to be operating the hooves right here so that BB Bubbles can play her keyboard tonight.
I'm a puppeteer, guys.
Yes. It is a very coveted position. And one of our friends who had the honor of doing this during one of our Cheesevention conventions, which was the officially unofficial Chuck E. Cheese's and Showbiz Pizza Place fan conventions that we used to hold. We did them for about 10 years, and the grand finale, Cheesevention 10, was the last time that BB Bubbles performed in front of a live audience. And tonight, we are doing it again for all of you. So, we must be at the official time now.
I think we should be at the official time.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and start.
And then not only do we have the one that they did at Cheesevention, we also have 2 others for you too, and then also a bonus song. So.
Oh, that's right. Well, for those that don't know, we have all 3 known show skits by BB Bubbles. Speaking of Cheesevention 10, when I performed her, 10 years ago when we had Cheesevention 10, when I performed her at that event, nobody had heard the audio for her show in 30 years. Mm-hmm. No one owned the audio. And I was very fortunate to have a friend, you know who you are if you're watching, who sent me the audio, and it was top secret. He said, do not tell anyone where this came from. Do not tell it came from me. And I have kept that promise. Nobody knows who you are. He sent that to me because he knew I was the only one that had a BB Bubbles. And I was turning her into a puppet character that you could manipulate so she could actually perform these songs. And the first skit we're going to do tonight was actually performed at Cheesevention 10 and blew everyone away because nobody had, not only have they not seen her move, but nobody had heard her audio, her show audio, in 30-something years. So it was a pretty incredible moment. Well, hopefully this will be an incredible moment for everybody out there tonight. Oh, somebody...
I'm going to fix this really quickly.
I was just going to say, remember, we don't want to be seeing the ceiling with the...
Okay. Do you want me to move this?
Yeah, we cut off the feathers. We just want to see the curtain. Like...
There. Like that?
Yeah. A little further down. We don't want to see the...
I know, but they don't want to see me.
I know, they don't want to see you. What happened? We had this all lined up like perfect.
I know.
Because they're going to be seeing your legs now.
I know.
You know what I think it is? I think the box moved. All right.
I think the box moved.
Give us a moment here. We need to realign this because we had this perfect. And
I think it just needs to be moved forward a bit. You think?
This has to... It's almost like it's not as high as it was, or we can zoom in here.
Oh, you can zoom in.
I was just going to say...
See, I didn't know that you could zoom in.
Oh, there we go. All right.
There we go.
Now we got to make sure that this isn't going to... Sorry, folks. Bear with us here. We want to make sure that you guys are seeing what you need to be seeing and not anything that you shouldn't be seeing.
Please pardon the fact that we do not know what we're doing with this right now.
Wait a minute. We know exactly what we're doing because we did rehearsals earlier today. They went really well.
Oh, yeah, but we didn't do it on live stream.
Now, is there a way to like tighten this because it seems like the weight...
Tighten what?
The phone, because it seems like the weight of it is pulling it down.
Oh, I can fix it. Hold on. Hold on.
Like the weight of it is like pulling it down. I don't know if that can be
That should work.
tightened up a little bit. All right, because we don't want this slipping while we're trying to do the performance
Yeah,
here.
that should work. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I remember this being a little higher, but that's okay. All right, at least.
Well, it'll look good once we get the
All right, there we go.
footage up on there
Just don't breathe on the stand.
and stuff. What?
Just don't breathe.
Don't breathe on
on the stand. All right, let's make this official. We got to get out the slate. All right, so BB Bubbles Live, take 1. Now, let's let one of our puppeteers get into place here. Emily is now going to be getting into position so that she can operate her hooves. Yep. And you know what they say when you're puppeteering things, that if you're comfortable, you're doing it wrong? Well, maybe a little bit later I'll show you the position she has to be in to do this. All right, so let's see those beautiful hooves move there. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, fantastic. Okay, we've got hoof action. All right, so let me start off by saying, for those of you that are not familiar with who this character is, BB Bubbles was a cyberamic animatronic character that appeared at Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater back in 1983. It's a character that was designed in 1982 by our wonderful friends Joel Kamen and Kathy Magnum, or Kathy Hopp. And the character went through many different design phases. But what's interesting about this character is it was designed to be something that a Pizza Time Theater could order. They could order the outer shell, what's known as the cosmetics. If they already had a cabaret character like Dolly Dimples or Artie Antlers, they could order this from PTT Incorporated and have the cosmetics shipped to them and put them on their cabaret character. So it seemed like they had a whole new character. And this is a promotional page featuring one of the test BB Bubbles. You can see it is a slightly different design. And this page was actually advertising how you could buy these cosmetics and put them on your existing figure. However, as Pizza Timers know all too well, 1983 was not a very good year for Pizza Time Theater, so there are not too many of these that were out in the field. And I believe I'm one of the few people that actually saw this character perform live in a store. And I have to say let me just say it was unique. So here's another great photo of, this is the BB Bubbles, the one that they had at Pizza Time Theater headquarters out in California. And this is what she actually looked like when she appeared in a store. And then we were talking earlier about how I saw BB Bubbles at the Danvers, Mass. Pizza Time Theater back in 1983. I also saw her in 85. And these photographs that I'm sure many of our friends out there watching that are big Pizza Time Theater fans have seen these photographs before. These are original Polaroid photos that I shot in 1985. And what's interesting is the photos show her looking white and not pink. Check it out. And I will tell you a little bit later why that is. The Flash did something fun because there was something about her that made her appear that way. But there she is. She is a very rare cyberamic character. And the BB Bubbles that you're looking at right now is actually the only one that is known to still exist. And as I was describing earlier, not everything on this, what's the word I want to use?
Animatronic?
No.
Cosmetics?
It's when you refurbish something.
Refurbishment?
Okay. Refurbishment. Okay, fine. When a restoration, that's the word I'm looking for. Restoration.
Yeah, that's the word.
This restored BB Bubbles. Remember, only her head and her arms are original. Everything else I had to recreate. So the crown, the hair, the glitter, the collar even on her head here. It's all made out of the original material that was actually used, but I had to make it new because it didn't survive. Whoever had this before me at the store, they They tore off all of this. I never got her dress. The whole dress here is a full recreation that I did a few years back. So she's had a lot of work done to bring her up to this point, but she's worth it because she's the only one that's known to still exist. And now we're going to go ahead and perform her first skit. So enjoy. Especially for all you pizza timers out there that might remember these cabaret shows from back in the day.
Hi, everybody! I'm back! And I told you it wouldn't take that long! You know, when I was traveling with the circus, we went all over the world! And the very first thing Chuck E. Cheese told me was that he wanted me to sing about where I've been! So hold on to your hats and your pizza! We're going to California! California, here I come! Right back where I started from! Where bowers of flowers bloom in the sun! Each morning at dawn and birdies singing everything a sun-kissed miss said, don't be late. That's why I can hardly wait. Open up that golden gate, California, here I come. Being with the circus had a lot of great advantages, like fresh peanuts every day and rejuvenating mud baths every week. But the best advantage is going to romantic places like Catalina Island. 26 miles across the sea, Santa Catalina is awaiting for me. Santa Catalina, the island of romance, 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 romance. Water all around me everywhere, tropical trees and the salty air. But for me, the thing that's awaiting there, romance. Now we go to Chinatown. Chinatown, my Chinatown, where the lights are low. Hearts that know no other land, drifting to and fro. Dreamy, dreamy Chinatown, almond eyes of brown. Light and life seems bright in dreamy Chinatown. Do you know the way to San Jose? I've been away so long, I may go wrong and lose my way. Do you know the way to San Jose? I'm going back to find some peace of mind in San Jose. When we were traveling through Southern California, a big-time movie producer wanted to make a film about wonderful me. He wanted to call it E.T. Elephant Trunk. Hooray for Hollywood! That dingy, wild and swinging Hollywood. But if you got the talent, you can make it. If you can take it, hooray for Hollywood! San Francisco, open your golden gate. You let no stranger wait outside your door. San Francisco, I'm coming home again, saying I'll wander no more. All right, everybody, I want to hear all of you clap along with me. Yes, even you, handsome, and you, and even you. Real loud now. San Francisco, open your golden gate. You let no stranger wait outside your door. San Francisco.
gentlemen, that was skit 1 of the fabulous BB Bubbles. Whew, I hope you all enjoyed that. All right, go ahead and shimmy right out there, Emily.
I'm coming.
She's in a very difficult position down there to move those hooves.
I am.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Of course, that was the California West Coast segment. Part of BB's character is that she used to be in a circus, and she travels around different parts of the country, of course, being in a circus, and her show segments relate to different parts of the country. So, of course, this was the West Coast California skit. This was the same skit that I performed at She's Mentioned 10, which was the first skit that anybody had heard in like 30-something years. So it seemed fitting to start off the show with that. Before we get on to skit number 2, I thought it'd be kind of fun if I talked a little bit more about this character. Let's see what we have here. I was going to talk about something that probably a lot of people that are watching are curious about, is how we are able to operate this character without it being an animatronic or using electronics of any kind. That is purely a puppeteering skill, and I custom built a rig that you will see a little bit later inside the head of this character, and just a combination of different things. I have a lot of experience with marionette puppetry. So she's actually a reverse marionette. So she is controlled by pulling strings.
She's wicked talented.
Oh, you're gonna make me blush. On my YouTube channel, I actually have a couple examples of some of my marionette shows that I did back in the 1990s, where all the characters are controlled above by pulling strings. Well, BB Bubbles is the opposite. It's the same thing, except you're pulling strings inside her body with a special rig that I built inside the head that is lightweight, because this elephant weighs almost as much as an elephant. She's extremely heavy. Which brings up another good point I should point out now that we've done the first skit. BB Bubbles actually has a couple of other movements that we're not able to operate, but I will point them out for you. Probably her most unique movement was her trunk. The Cyberamic figure could actually swing her trunk side to side, like this. Let me move this towards the front here. So during the show, when she's singing, her trunk originally could move side to side like this. The trunk weighs an absolute ton, and the metal rod that's inside the trunk that makes that movement, kind of think of like, for those of you who know Pasquale animatronics from Chuck E. Cheese's, he has his little mustache that twitches. Well, this metal rod that's inside her trunk that swings it back and forth is very similar to that.